What's going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today, I feel like doing a little bit of yapping, a little bit of talking. So what am I going to be talking about? Support starters. We're going to go down the list of all 7 of them. Kind of just give you the rundown of what my opinion of them is. Do I think they're good? Do I think they're bad? Who should you build them on? Ideas of when you should build them. Builds kind of with them. But it's going to be a more general video idea. It's not going to be like, oh, Lokis Mask with this. It's going to be like Lokis Mask and then make sure you do this. So it's just going to be a lot more general, but I want to give you guys my updated thoughts on all of these support starters because I haven't done one in a while and there's been a few changes. So, the god that we have to look at, Anubis for support. Just kidding. Anubis doesn't matter. But what does matter is starting with Lokis Mask. So I had to choose a mage or assassin, hunter, whatever. Lokis Mask. Lokis Mask has always been a weird item. I think it is a fine item a lot of the times. My biggest problem with Lokis Mask is how much worse it makes your laning phase. I think it's a lot less painful now. When it was mages in duo lane and you were playing like Hell or Afro or Nox, and then you went Lokis Mask, you lost that little bit of power you're getting from your class passive. Now that you don't really have that anyway, your low damage is going to be brought a little bit lower. It doesn't really matter all that much. I think if I was playing a Hell and Afro, actually, if I was playing Hell or Afro, I'd probably not build this. If I was playing Nox, I would go Lokis Mask. If I was playing maybe something like Circuit and I wanted to be as tanky as I could be, Fender be as tanky as I could be, Nasha be as tanky as I could be, I'd go Lonos. The problem is it's just such a risky item because on Assassins, you want to do damage. And I complain about this a lot with Mask. Assassins, you want to do damage when you're playing them in support. Lokis Mask kind of makes it the opposite where you don't really do any damage, but you're as tanky as a Guardian. And at that point, why are you playing an Assassin? Just play a Guardian because they have more and better CC. So I think Lokis Mask is really only a Nox option unless I'm missing out on a god. But there are different gods that I would, or different builds that I would go for Afro, for Hell, and then all the Assassins also. And the Hunters like on her, who I don't think is actually a bad support right now. Genetics has actually done a few videos on it, and he also streams sometimes playing it. And I actually think it's really good. But that's Lokis Mask. So yeah, just Nox. Sentinel's Boon. I was a Boon Gooner last split. I think it has fallen out of favor for me. Its problem isn't that it's bad. It's just not good enough. Free gold is good. Yes, but every item gives you free gold. Healing is really good. But for the most part, if you're taking that much poke, you're losing the fight anyway, or you'll just be able to heal up from HP 5. So the healing isn't impactful enough, in my opinion. It takes too much time to get you back to full health if you do take too much. And then I think when it goes to late game, it's really only a selfish option. So yeah, maybe you're playing like Circuit and it could be good because you want like those tankiness, maybe a little bit of sustain, but it's not like that good. It's good, but it's not good enough, basically. And I don't think Sentinel's Boon is an item that I would look for any god currently. Moving on to Sentinel's Embrace. Sentinel's Embrace kind of has the same problem that Sentinel's Boon has. I think it is a okay, good item. Is it ever bad? No. Is it ever great? Also no. I think there's nearly always a better option than Sentinel's Embrace, and that's kind of where it comes down to. The one upside of Sentinels is that it was like this defensive option that made you also pretty tanky, which that's its niche. It's the defensive option that also makes you tanky. But for the most part, the defensive option, Compassion, which makes you slightly less tanky, but makes your team a whole lot tankier, is just usually going to be better. And I think that's like the downside of Sentinels where, yes, I mean, it could be this perfect thought. And yes, it could change stuff a little bit. It could give you tankiness in that late game that maybe you'd have died if you would have had this, or you wouldn't have died if you had this instead of Compassion. But it's just not worth it. The survivability Compassion gives your teammates is just better. And the slightly less survivability you get yourself is just the risk you have to take for keeping your teammates alive. And that's why Compassion is the best backline option. I think Compassion is still incredibly good. The slight problem right now is that there's just a lot of damage in the game. But I think with that, it means Compassion could actually be a lot better. I think when you're playing against these Sobeks, you're playing against these Charons, and they're doing a good amount of damage, reducing a good amount of that damage when it comes to late game is very impactful, especially when it comes down to them having a health item or them having a protection item on top of it. They're taking reduced damage from their protections, and then they're also taking reduced damage with your Compassion. So that stacking component is there, and I think Compassion in that regard, I think it is the best defensive option. Gods like Yamoji you can build it on. You have to go it on Khepri in my opinion. Geb is very strong with it if you're playing more of a backline Geb. Ganesh is still busted with it. Compassion is great on backline gods. Heroism. I have been a Heroism hater ever since they added it into the game because people buy it when they don't need to, or they buy it when they shouldn't. Like maybe they thought it was the better option because For one, it gives you like this nice dopamine of, oh, I'm peeling for my ally with this massive shield I gave him. And then you look at Compassion where it's like, yeah, I'm not reducing anything because I can't see this big giant shield on him, or I can't see this big health healing popping up on him. So you don't get like that dopamine, and it doesn't feel as good peeling with Compassion. But let's be clear. 12% reducing damage to your allies around you, which is usually your mage and your hunter, is way more valuable than one proc in a team fight, 15 seconds, 15% of your maximum health, especially when there's shield reductions in the game, and especially when it doesn't last that long. I think it lasts like 5 seconds, 7 seconds, maybe. It actually doesn't say, which is a little weird, but it doesn't last that long because slowly, if you just get it under the wall, say you're Athena, you dash taunt both backliners and the Geb and the Khepri. Yeah, one of them gets a nice Heroism shield. Well, let's just target the other one then, because he doesn't have that same survivability of the compassion of just peeling for both of them. So it just makes it so it, yes, one person can't get gone on, but if both are getting dove, it's really bad. I will say though, however, if they have 1 or 2 CCs that they're reliant on, say they have like an Assassin Kama or a Jungle Kama, an Osiris solo, and then they have a Serket support. Heroism is really good in games like that, where they're relying on that Serket. It's also a very good item into Morrigan, because Morrigan sneaks in, stuns somebody before she really does most of her damage, and you get this 15% max health of your max health shield onto them. It can be very strong. But most games, Compassion is better. And that's why I think Heroism is also my least favorite and the least strong support option. War Banner. They buffed War Banner last year, and by golly, this item is broken. It was broken. It still is broken. The reason that I'm pretty sure we're not seeing it built right now is that it's just the difficulty of playing around waves just makes it a little bit more awkward. It's still like movement speed, attack speed, healing, and mana that you're getting back to your teammates is incredible. But if you lose those stacks in a team fight and you don't have them anymore, your War Banner is pretty useless outside of just a few protections. And that's where Spartan Flag kind of has like this strength where it's just nearly any time you're fighting, as long as you're hitting somebody at some point, you'll be giving your teammates a power and attack speed. And it's just the ease of use for Spartan Flag is just that much easier. In comp, maybe we could get to a spot where War Banner is just a stronger option than Spartan Flag because you have your allies to play around. They'll listen to you. You can fight on waves, or you can fight on camps being brought to you. But it's just the ease of use of Spartan Flag just makes it so much more, I don't want to say easy because I said ease of use, but it just makes it that much more simple to play around. The power is always useful. The attack speed is always useful. The range of it is actually huge. It's like 100 units, it looks like. And it's something where it refreshes every 10 seconds and it lasts 10 seconds. So it's something that can always be there as long as you're getting active in support. And I think this is the best option for gods like Serket, Fenrir, Naja. I think even gods like Afro and Hell, where they can just get this big giant field to fight around, or nearly any supports like Charon, Sobek, Geb. Nobody's ever upset that they have extra power, they have extra attack speed. Maybe the support who's got 0. But the only thing is, just build one power item. Even going like Divine Rune getting, is it 70? I don't even know how much it is anymore. Divine Rune getting 70 power, 15 flat pen, and then you also get this extra 7 power from this item. Yeah, it may not seem like a lot, but it's still just extra effective damage where, could it make the difference? Yes. Will it? Probably not, but could it? Or does it get them slightly lower than maybe they're feeling comfortable walking forward? So it's just, yes, it's not absolutely busted OP, but think about Athena. She was literally played at Worlds just because of how easy she is. Oh, dash taunt. Oh, dash taunt. Oh, dash taunt. Oh, I don't have to have my brain on and rotate correctly around the map. I can just ult somewhere, and then we're good. So don't underestimate how easy something is as being something bad. Same thing with some gods currently. Bake, very easy, but he's very busted. That's what kind of comes to mind. Spartan Flag, easy, but busted. That is the support starter, little rundown, little yap sesh quickly. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below if you're curious about any of these specifically. Also, if you're curious about support builds in general, I could get one going. I feel like I've put out a little bit of support, information, but if it feels like there's not enough for support build in Season 11, drop it down below. If it gets enough likes, I'll put one together. We'll post that one so you guys can get all the information. You guys can get all the information you need. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.